What's up, YouTube? It's me, NG, and I'm back. And today I'm into the LG G8X. Now, I know I've been off of here for like, 2 weeks? Been a little under the weather, so to speak. And I mean, even now, the weather in New York is keeping me under. There's snow and sleet and hail, all kinds of madness. But yeah, I wanted to just talk about this phone really quickly. I have to say, I've been using it since I got it. Still not sure if I'm going to keep it. It's leaning more towards no, but not because it's a bad phone. Look at that reflection. But more because I have the Fold. I know that purple case, yeah. Finally got a little case for it. This phone here, the G8X, is very comparable to the Galaxy Fold. But I guess that is obvious. They're both a different take on the foldable phone design, kinda. But where the Fold open up into one large display, which comes in very handy for media and visual consumption, the LG G8X, it becomes two distinctive screens, each screen capable of doing its own thing. And that comes in handy for multitasking. Now that is something. I don't know what this crap on my screen even is. Now, with the Fold, get rid of that. Yeah, you can view whatever you want, and that huge screen that you can just unfold to is very inviting. This phone has that dual screen setup, and truthfully, there are certain case scenarios where this device is more enticing than the Galaxy Fold. And truth be told, if I didn't have the Fold, I'd probably have this. No, actually, it's not even probably. I would. This is the perfect replacement device for S8s and S9s if you aren't about that S10 and lack of a headphone jack and all of the caveats that come with buying those higher end Samsung or Apple devices. This here is probably the best $700 you can spend on a 2019 flagship right now. That's how good this phone is. Now, like I said, with the Fold, it opens up into a really large screen, and everything is pretty and amazing, and the technology behind it turns heads wherever you go. No one can really argue about the difference in these two devices. The Fold, phone to tablet. The LG phone to a phone with two screens. But when you have work to do, I mean, you really have work to do, when you have to multitask or want a better hold or a better view or a better experience with doing your writing or your texting or even viewing the web sometimes, this thing works surprisingly well. In many cases, better than the Fold. Because without even, I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess it probably was there in intention, but just turn this phone like this, you have created a mini laptop. Let's say you're online and you want to type in something. You can actually have it go on one screen, whatever you're trying to type or write, and have the bomb screen be the keyboard. It's really cool. Let's see if I can find one of those apps just to show off that particular thing. But that's what I found most interesting about this. Here's one, I think, right? Yeah, there it is. Right, so for example, in Google, you can't see here, on my folder screen, I have Gmail up and going. Now, if you type it there, I don't know if you guys can see it. You can see the cursor and so on. But when you change it over like that, and then you go to type in a word or what have you, you see that? The keyboard just pops up. So your entire bomb screen becomes the interactive area of whatever you are doing. And the foldable screen, if that's how you have stuff, becomes the visual area. Now, you don't have to touch up there if you don't want to. It is completely usable from the bomb screen, just like a regular laptop. And being that the screen is so much larger than the Fold per se, but the Fold can do something very, very similar. Let's say you go into your texting app and what have you, and you turn the Fold on its side. You get the same kind of thing, and you can bend it and what, and you have a very similar experience to what you get on the LG. But being that the Fold is in half, you don't have the space, and that's the thing that the LG offers you in interactivity. It offers you space, and that's what I took away from my time with the LG G8X. It gives you more space to do what you want to do, because it is in essence two screens, a whole phone just for the keyboard, and another whole phone to view whatever it is you are doing. Now, the bad thing about this, and I feel it's a missed opportunity for LG, this interaction between the two screens doesn't work across all apps. For example, if you go into YouTube, there's YouTube on the other screen. If you turn it, and I think if you try to search, it might pop up at the bottom. You can always type and search, but if you're trying to actually watch something, you would think that the bomb screen here would become the menu, but it doesn't, and that it doesn't make much sense to me. If up here is my viewing area, I'm sure that they could have tweaked the YouTube programming to make the other screen be the video menu, where you can flip through and change to your next video. It would be so much more practical and so much better use of space and usage of these two screens. And that's what I found disappointing with this device. You have this amazing setup, which works very well with a few apps, and that's it. It's just a few. But I don't understand is why with every app that has an interactive section and a viewable area, that when in this landscape mode, it just didn't automatically turn to view up here, interact down here. That would have made this thing the perfect device. The perfect device. But that's what they did. They just didn't do that. I mean, maybe it's not for LG and Google, but even with that, a lot of the Google apps don't do it either. Like YouTube is a Google app, and it doesn't conform to the two screens, and I personally think that it should. Now, if I'm right, I think stuff like Google Notes and things along those, what is it, Docs? Yeah, Docs. Oh, Docs will do it. And again, as soon as you go to type on something, you'll get your keyboard up here. Why is this thing not allowing me to type? I don't even know. Oh, edit, right. So that will always work, and that's probably the best implementation that I can show you of these two screens in action. Another little feature, I'm sure that you've all read about, that is when you're online, or as you see here, I have my Google Docs on one page and the web on the other page. That's another great thing. But one thing, when you're on their websites in Google, you can actually flip this little switch here. I know you guys probably can't see it. With a little switch right here, and it brings up this little menu, and you can actually have the whole screen become your web browser. You see right here, it says wide view, and boom. Now that's a cool little feature, and the break in the middle doesn't actually cut anything off. The cut stops at the top screen and continues at the bottom screen. So as they get this dual screen implementation that much better, and this break becomes thinner, you probably won't even see that break. So it's a very nice little feat of technology that they did. But unfortunately, this only works with Chrome. Now, even this way, I've never even done it that way. You have part over here, part over there. I guess that works pretty good too. But they really should have put more time into the apps that work with these dual screens, because that's the best feature of this phone. It was not the best, but that's the standout feature. That's what they were hoping would make it stand out amongst the crowds of S9s and iPhone 11s and Mates and Sonys and OnePluses. All of these phones that more people talk about than the LGs. LG really needed a feature to stand out. And though this screen, or this dual screen, is very useful, I mean extremely useful, there aren't enough apps to take advantage of it. I mean, if Instagram, for example, would allow you to view the gram on one side and your comments on the other side, or leave a comment while watching whatever is going on, and little things like that, you have the two screens. So every app on the phone should utilize those two screens. Now, on the off chance you don't want to use the two screens, the LG G8X by itself is a very, what's the word, svelte device. It's very thin. The cameras sit flush. I found that almost amazing. I haven't seen that in a long time, where the cameras are flat with the rest of the phone. You literally cannot feel any camera hump whatsoever. Not that a camera hump bothers me, but I thought it was really nice that it did that. And it does have a notch, but as you can see, you can hide the notch within that little black bar, and you still get your notifications within the black bar. It's just not as much as an eyesore as when the notch is visible. I'm not a fan of any notch. Only my iPhone has one, and just the iPhone. Yeah, I have no Android phones with a notch, because I'm not part of that life. I'm not a fan of. Well, I guess the Fold has a notch, technically speaking, but that's a foldable phone, so it's excuse for having to put a camera on the inside. But at least it's off to the side. It doesn't bother me much. Yeah, but this phone here, the LG, when not in the cases, is just as powerful as any of the uh, flagship phones out. And to that, I give LG kudos because this phone is falling under the radar. No one talks about it. Apparently, very few people even care about it. But that is how it's always been with LG. They come up with these somewhat left devices that offer something new, and people just don't accept what's new. I mean, it's a lot like the story of the Galaxy Fold. It's new, and people don't know how to properly accept it, so they shun the device. This is one of those. But this will easily take on any flagship out there today. Same chipset, great camera if that is your thing. It has all of your night sight and all of those little fancy features that people love with their cameras, as if cameras are the one factor that will sell a phone. This has all of those and then some. It still has probably the best pro mode in a camera, where you can go into those manual settings and do so much. And that's the thing. They were the first one. See, manual camera. They were the first one with the V20 to offer so many options when in your camera that you could create some very professional pictures. Very professional. You could change the lighting. You could change the aperture. You could change the ISO. All of these little things. The white balance. And if you knew what you were doing, you can get some really good shots. This camera takes that even further. It also has the audio. This camera can tell where sound is coming from, so you can actually zoom in on the sound where it's coming from. So that would allow for, like, let's say your kids are playing over there, but there's a lot of noise there. The camera can actually drown out that noise that you don't want to hear as much and focus on the noise of your kids having fun and bring that into your video. It works really well, very well. Of course, you have your wide angle shots. You have I think it's 2x zoom. Is it? Because truthfully, I haven't taken that many pictures with it. I went through it and I was happy with what I saw. I'm not the biggest photo buff, though I do enjoy taking pictures. I have kids. I have a wife. I have dogs. Pictures, I take a lot of them. But yeah, this camera did not let me down with anything. It was right up there with all of my other pictures, especially with the manual mode. With those settings, you can really get those really crisp shots if you take the time to mess around with them. And even better, have someone who knows about those things. My brother is a photographer, so every now and then he would come over and he'd help me out just to tweak the settings to get that perfect shot, and this camera was able to do it. Next, headphone jack. Now, some people might think that's not a big thing. To me, it's a huge thing. It's probably one of the main reasons I actually consider keeping this device. When you plug in a good pair of headphones to this, nothing sounds better. None of your Galaxy Buds or your AirPod Pros, even my Sennheiser Momentum Wireless, which are arguably the best sounding headphones or wireless earbuds on the market, do not compare to when you plug in a decent set of over-ears into this thing. It has a 32-bit DAC. I don't know the science behind it, but let's just say it makes that music sound clear and crisp, and the sound separation from the high end to the low end and everything in between is so clear and distinct. It is really a much more enjoyable listening experience. If nothing else, if LG has nothing else on any of these other manufacturers, they have their audio. Nothing compares to when you plug in a good set of headphones into an LG device? Nothing. You can say, oh, Bluetooth, whatever. And I love my headphones. I'll never knock Bluetooth unless it's compared to wired. And wired coming from an LG device or a similar device with one of those 32-bit or higher DACs that just boost that sound quality to another level. If you haven't heard an LG device, hell, find a V10 or V20, because the V's were the first one to have it. I think it was the G7 that first got the 32-bit DAC. But you can find one of the cheaper ones. I remember back in the day when the V10 first came out, one of the reviewers said something that made a whole lot of sense. Hold on. What is going on with life right now? Yeah, that reviewer had said, even if you don't like the phone, get as an audio player, you will not be disappointed. And he wasn't lying. I have actually bought the V20 3 separate times. Bought it, returned it. When it was a little cheaper, bought it again. Saw a really good deal to trade it in for the Pixel 3. Gave it back. Then when I got my Pixel 3, I saw it on eBay. I bought it back. That's just how much that V20 was a part of my life. And I personally would rather not do without it as an audio device. If that's all it does, throw in a 256 gig card, because yes, it does have expandable memory. It does have a removable battery. I mean, it has a lot of good stuff. I think the V20 was the last flagship phone, at least in the US, to have a removable battery. So everyone wants to talk about, oh, quick charge 5.0. Ain't no charge faster than just changing your battery out to a fully charged battery. Well, this will go from 0 to 20 or to 50% in 15 minutes. I will go from 0 to 100 in 4 seconds. Just open the back, throw in the new battery, power it back on. And it actually had a portable battery charger just for the battery itself. So I think LG should have just stuck with that. All of their phones should still have the removable battery and the little portable personal battery charging pack, so you always have a battery waiting. But back then they had that, and for those who would do video vlogs and all of that, when your phone was dying, pop, and you kept it going. This doesn't have it, unfortunately, but it does have the quick charge, and it is somewhat fast. At least as fast as the other ones. It does have wireless charging for those who would rather slow it down on a charging pad. To my knowledge, it doesn't have quick wireless charging. But when I throw it down on my quick wireless charger, I use for the Galaxy Fold. This doesn't indicate quick charging. The Fold does. So that's just something there to think about. But for real, in all honesty, the only thing that makes this phone not as valuable to me is the fact that I actually have the Galaxy Fold. Both phones have their case uses. Both phones can be used very similar. But the Galaxy Fold takes it in the fact that everything this dual screen phone can do, the Galaxy Fold can do with a larger screen. And that's really it. If this phone with its case could somehow become a large tablet-like screen, it wouldn't be a contest, especially for the price. This with the dual screen case is $700. From AT&T, I got it free. Yes, I had to open up a whole other line, which is why I'm like, I don't think I'm going to keep it, because I really don't need 2 lines just for the free phone. I could just buy the phone outright and not have to deal with AT&T more than I have to. But I was curious, and at the time, the unlocked version wasn't around. Now it is on Amazon, so there's that. But yeah, this phone here is a wonderful device. I really do like this device. and I can easily see this device replacing my regular and Android devices. If my Note 8 was to finally die, this wouldn't be a bad replacement. Yes, I miss my S Pen, but they do have the writing mode and all that with a regular stylus. It is there. So yes, I wouldn't have the S Pen features, but I would be able to take my notes, and that's what is important. I love to take my notes. And it keeps the headphone jack. It keeps the expandable storage. Everything that the Note 10 doesn't have, this one has, plus an extra screen. And it's $400 less. It's really a no-brainer if you're in the market for a flagship device that covers all the basics and then some. The LG G8X is the way to go. Now, yes, LG has had their bad rap with boot, where the boot loop, where the screen will just keep on and off, on and off. It never happened to me, but I have read that, and they don't get their updates all that fast. I can't really say anything about that because my Fold is still on August security patch, and I couldn't tell you why. I actually read that, yeah, the November patch is out, 2 different ones, and I'm still on August. And I mean the patch for AT&T, not the unlocked version. The AT&T one is out, and it's being sent to people with the Galaxy Fold. I was on XDA on Sunday, and someone was saying how he finally got his update on that day. So maybe they're taking very long to get to me. I don't know. A part of me, I really did just want to go in there and change the firmware over, and I think I might just attempt to do that if another week goes by. I don't have my patch because I'm on August. It's now December. 4 months later, I didn't get the September patch. I didn't get the October patch. I didn't get the November patch. Give me my patch. Give me my patch. But yeah, all of that aside, the LG G8X with its screen, its dual screen, is a definite win if you're in the market for a flagship device. You know, see a little power switch here. I think that's cool. You can actually just press that and turn on the other screen, and boom, it's on. And it can fold over, and the screen turns off. So it's just a really thick phone. But this thing works. To use this screen here to do whatever you need for, works wonders. Let's say you in your GPS, and this is something I actually do a lot. I will have maps, maybe my faster or whatever. I actually have my GPS going, but I will just turn it like that. So you gotta get the screen to turn first, right? And then I'll fold it over, turn off the main device, and just pop the phone in right on top my my dashboard, and boom, just like that, or even like that, I have a full-fledged GPS right there. No case needed. Well, it does have a case, but no arm needed, no holster, and it's weighty enough that it's not going anywhere. When I'm driving my bus, it's full over like that, and I have a little compartment. I just slide it right in, boom, and boom. People think it's part of the bus. That's how convenient this thing is. Anyway, that's it for now. It's just a quick, not review, but just my feeling towards the LG G8X and my experience so far. Great device. If you are looking for a flagship, or a 2019 flagship at that is in many ways better than almost all the other flagships that have come out this year, especially at this price with this accessory. You can't really go wrong with the LG G8X. Get over the fact that it's an LG, and just know it's a great device. It's a great phone. It's a great music player, and it's great for multitasking. No comparison, or no direct comparison. The Fold is a close comparison, but like I said, this dual screen is better in certain scenarios as opposed to one giant folding screen. Anyway, with that said, this is NG and the LG G8X with the dual screen case. This is what I'm into.